Welcome back to the Positive Side Podcast. Glad you're tuning in. The host, Jeremy Todd. Boy, oh boy, I'm trying to do more and more episodes, so I'm glad you're tuning in. Hope you're enjoying these a few more solo episodes. However, we got some great interviews coming up this week. Last week we had Denali Veda. We're talking about all kinds of wild stuff, so make sure you turn into that show. We're talking about life, the next level of after death, angels. I mean, all kinds of cool stuff. We're going to talk about that on that episode. That'll be out Wednesday. And then I got Tony B coming on. Now, Tony B is a client of mine. Check his podcast out, the Gray Path podcast. Man, oh man, I tell you, it's all about fandom. And of course, I always go back to Star Wars, but it's not only, it's for the people out there that just really get into it. Obviously, Star Wars, there's Dungeons and Dragons and all those things, but he's got a podcast geared around stories within those for motivation, inspiration. I absolutely love it. And if you haven't found his podcast, make sure you run over there, subscribe to him. And actually, we're signing some more people up for the one-on-one coaching. Again, it's not just getting the podcast going. It's more of what are we going to talk about? How are we going to structure the show? What are the intro, the outro? And we put it all together. And I'd say what we have a lot of fun doing it. So if you're interested, email me, jeremy@jeremytodd.com. Let's see if we're a good fit. Today's show is unconditional love. And man, it's a big one because it's obviously very, very important. And when I mentioned unconditional love, like what does that look like, right? It's interesting because I broke it down into 4 categories and we're going to talk about these things, but man, I don't know about that. Like, do I have that unconditional love for anybody, or do people have that for me? And I say yes, but it's something that is always on my mind. Like when you get in fights and situations, and everybody knows the situation I'm in right now with my family. It's very, very unique. Now I have unconditional love for my children. There's no question about that. And I have unconditional love for a lot of my friends, but I think, is it just me or is it everybody? I don't know if everybody has that unconditional love. It's willingness to love in good times and bad times when you agree. And more importantly, it's when you disagree. Do you still love that person? Now I hear stories about people not talking to loved ones for months and years and years and years. And man, I don't know. Is that unconditional love? I don't know. I don't know that. And I would suppose that we all have our independent definition of that. But I'm going to get into 4 things that I think of when I think of it or unconditional love. And again, it's just something I just wrote this down. I did this about no shit like 5-10 minutes ago, but it's been on my mind for a while. So unconditional love, what does that look like when it comes to physical? And I think that's important, right? I think people, when you fall in love with somebody or you love someone, no matter what, it shouldn't matter what they look like. And I say that with all honesty, and I'm not trying to just, well, of course, that's obvious, Jeremy. Well, is it obvious? And sure, there has to be some physical attraction if you're in a relationship, but I think it also has to do, well, it's important for physical relation or for a relationship that we have some sort of physical attraction, but over time, I think that should go away. And it's more unconditional love towards the mindset, to who the person actually is. What are their goals, dreams, inspirations? What are they like as an individual? Do they inspire you? Do they can you not wait to see this person? Because the physicality will go away. We get older and we get, we get more comfortable. I mean, we get more gray hair. I mean, we get all these things that don't actually fall in that the physical unconditional love category. However, it needs to be that way. For unconditional love to be true, it can't have physical restrictions. So just think about that, whatever relationship you're in. Number 2, you can't judge someone based on their past. Unconditional love doesn't care what goes on in the past. And again, that goes 2 ways. It's for the person that's being loved, like the relationship. If I'm in love with somebody, that person can't bring those past things up as well and can't judge me for my past. And for me, I can't be judged about my past, but I also have to understand that I have to release that past. That maybe I'm holding on to a grudge or a conversation or an ideology of the person that I'm talking to now, that I'm using the past and judging this person into the future. We can't judge people based on their past. Now, and again, there may be some people that just continually make the same mistakes over and over and over, but I think unconditional love will allow that person to get past those fears or those anxieties and why they keep going back to the same situations. We have to be able to understand that unconditional love is a 2-way street, where I unconditionally love you no matter what you've done in your past. And you have to unconditionally love me for what I've gone in my past. And together We can't judge each other on each other's past, because that's not unconditional love. Unconditional love doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what's happened in the past, what you've done, what you've said. Um, it's just so vital that when you're in a relationship, and that's really, man, that's what I want, right? I want that unconditional love. And I'm not going to hold anything in your past, and I don't want you to hold anything in my past. The third thing was the present. Where am I? Like, meet me where I am. Meet me with all my quirkiness, all my weirdness, I think every situation is based on a Seinfeld episode. Like, I analyze the strangest things, like, well, why did they say that? And look at that person's shoes. Or it's not judging. I just think it's quirkiness, and it's funny to me about why we have and why we judge certain things. I love that stuff, but we have to meet people where they're at. We have to understand what they've been through. We have to understand what's gone on in their life, and not judge them for any of that, and meet them for truly who they are at this exact moment. Because I think that's one of the most beautiful things that we can actually start with. We can start with the present, where we're at. Why do we love each other? Why am I genuinely interested in this person? To me, that's very, very important, because it's like starting over. It's like a fresh slate. It doesn't matter. I just want to learn about you and what's made you the person that you are. And I want you to love me unconditionally also. And again, I'm not talking about you and me personally. I'm talking about just in generalities, when we meet people and fall in love with relationships or whatever the case. It could be a friend, it could be anything. But I think it's very, very important that we meet people where they're at currently. Whatever they've done in their past is what's made them this unique individual today, and we cannot judge that. We just have to meet them where they are in their lives, whether they have children, where they've had these bad things happen in the past. We all make mistakes, right? But if we meet people where they are and we wipe that slate clean, we can actually truly get to know them and be genuinely interested. Unconditional love, no matter what's happened, no matter what's going on in their life, we can unconditionally love them and understand that they have the best intentions in their life. That's very, very important, to meet people where they're at. And the third thing, obviously, is the future. Unconditionally love where this person wants to go to the future and where they want to be in their life, how they want to grow. Do they want to just be where they are? I don't know, but unconditional love is, for whatever your definition of that is for the future, it is what it is. But mine, I want to be with somebody and talk to somebody that wants to grow and wants to get better and wants to have these deep conversations, maybe wants to travel. But that's unconditional love for the future of the person that I want to be with. And I want them to do the same thing with me. I want to travel. I want to travel the world. I want to meet new people. I want to have different experiences. But when we meet somebody, sometimes it gets intimidating, or we want to tell them what they can or can't do. That's not unconditional love. Unconditional love is embracing the future of this person as well, and understanding that, man, oh man, their goals and dreams and aspirations are them, and I don't ever want to curtail that. And we can mold these lives together and grow together and experience these different things together and look towards the future together. Where do you want to be? What do you want to do? What are your challenges? Unconditional love to me is one of the most important things in the world. And as I talk about these four things out loud, I think that's really the true definition of love, right? All four of these things. It's not loving someone based on their physical looks. It's not loving somebody on their past. It's not loving or not loving somebody because of their current present situation, and accepting where they want to be in the future. That, to me, my friends, is true unconditional love. I don't know why I felt like doing this podcast today. I have no idea. It's been something on my mind. It's been written here on this little piece of paper. If you can see that it's actually on a Frontier Communications bill, but it just shows you, like, I wrote that down the other day, actually in a podcast with, I think it might've been with Denali. But very, very important. And it's just, man, it's just something I think about. And I'm just curious about what you think about. Shoot me those emails, jeremy@jeremytodd.com, and let's talk about it. What do you think? What's your definition of unconditional love? Do you have it? What's your situation like? I'd like to hear about that too. Share this message, share the podcast, run over there, do those 5-star reviews. Or it could be one-on-one. Let's do this. I mean, why wait? Why wait? Let's develop your podcast. If you want to work on some mindset stuff, we do that as well. We do some mindset coaching. So shoot me those emails, jeremy@jeremytodd.com. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you watching. You've got greatness within. Like always, this is The Positive Side.